Good morning, Mary.
Good morning.
Morning, Ed. Say, on this reject report, did you want 6 copies or 7?
George Jones, 723.
6, I think. Just a minute, I'll check.
Hello? Yes, go ahead. Can I call you back this afternoon? Thank you. Good morning. Hello? Yes.
Good morning.
The relationships between one human being and another can be very simple, or they can be very complicated. A company is a complicated human endeavor. Now, this is a company. Color it successful. A company is more than buildings, more than machinery, more even than people. And it's held together by a funny sort of glue called communications. Now, just what is communications? Well, for one thing, it's something that always seems to need improving. Communicating helps us make better judgments, do our work, find answers to our questions, share our ideas with others, and get help when we need it. If we couldn't communicate, each person would be alone. Now, when a company is small, it's easy to keep track of what's going on. If you don't know, ask your neighbor. But companies grow bigger. They add machines, develop new products, hire more people, build more buildings, add still more machines, and so it goes. The number of things each person needs to know about also increases. People are farther away than they used to be. The person next to you may not know the answers anymore. Organizational lines drawn in ink can become barriers to communication.
I've got this great idea.
Tektronix believes some kinds of communication are not necessary. Still, at Tektronix, the need to communicate is great. If you have a question, you deserve an answer. A person with a problem needs help. Someone with a bright idea or a complaint needs someone else to tell it to. And in a way, ours is a selfish attitude. If your question isn't answered, it can cost us all time and money. A problem that's not solved can become a festering sore. And a good idea that's overlooked is like unmined gold. Who loses? We all lose. Tektronix believes strongly that each person has dignity as an individual human being, that each person is unique and important, and that each person wants to do a good job. Our approach to communications is based on the idea that your uniqueness and my uniqueness will be of greatest value to all of us if it is shared. Each person ought to have maximum opportunity to help others. And so we want you to be curious about what Tektronix is doing and why. We try to give each person as much responsibility as he can handle. And we expect that most of the decisions which directly affect his job will be his own decisions. The better he understands what the company is doing, the better judgment he'll have. And the better decisions he makes, the better Tektronix will do. When Tech was very young, communicating was as easy as calling across the room. Everybody pitched in on all jobs. It didn't matter then who was management and who wasn't. In fact, it doesn't matter an awful lot even today. At Tektronix, a manager is just a person with a different kind of job. And no, we have no executive washrooms. Well, as Tektronix grew, the problems of communicating grew with it. Work got more complicated. Employees became specialists. One-man jobs became whole departments. More people needed to know more answers, and yet there was less time and less chance to talk to one another. But the conversation that went on in those early days was valuable, and the environment was something we wanted to keep. Can you grow big and still keep a small company climate? Can you keep the conversation going? Well, the people of Tektronix decided they would try. A regular meeting was set up between some tech managers and several elected employees, each one acting as a spokesman for his work group. Now, this group was known first as the Personnel Committee and later as the Group Representatives. These meetings managed to exchange ideas and to get answers to employees' questions that they no longer had the time or the opportunity to ask face to face. And so, the conversation continued. Today's communications problems are bigger and more complicated. There are far more people, but the basic needs are the same as ever. The need to be informed, to get answers, to share ideas, to know what's going on and why. At Tektronix, a major emphasis has always been placed on in-line communication. That is conversation between you and your boss. It's the best way for you to get answers about your job and to get help when you have problems. Tektronix expects each manager to be a willing and helpful communicator. Now, this is a boss. Color him willing and helpful. Meetings provide another communication channel, enabling a wide variety of employee ideas to be focused on a particular problem. Publications of various kinds are also carrying information about activities of tech employees and other matters of concern to them. But not every suggestion can be put into print. Not every idea gets brought up at meetings, and the boss, no matter how willing, can't answer every question.
Hi, may I help you?
Les, how many times a year will I be receiving a performance review?
In the job you're performing now, Leroy, we should expect to get together about every 6 months. You should ask for one whenever it would be helpful, however.
I've heard that when mechanical is ill, they don't have to call in. Is this true?
When you have a question and can't get an answer, where do you go? When I have a good idea that someone should know about, what can I do? Well, this is a maintenance man. He may not look like one, but he is just the same. We call him an area representative, and he tries to help maintain communication at Tektronix that is as free and as effective as we can make it. His job is to help get answers to employees' questions, to help see that good ideas don't get lost. The area rep's duties are on top of his regular Tektronix job. He's an employee like you and me. He may be a production worker, an engineer, or a truck driver. He may even be a boss, or maybe you, one of these days. To help him do his job, Tektronix provides time and space for holding meetings, gives him training, and offers administrative and clerical help. Dick Walker has been coordinator of the area representative since its inception in 1964, as an outgrowth of the early group representative meetings.
The area reps have developed a set of guidelines which help them in each area to handle the concerns of employees. However, area rep is really a friend, a person who can work in an area with an employee and handle the employee's concerns.
What is an area representative? A friend, certainly. The person with the answers? Sometimes, and sometimes not. A chaplain? Well, sometimes. A pest? Maybe once in a while. Each work area may elect a fellow employee to serve as its area rep. Now, to learn of his area's needs and questions, he may conduct group meetings on company time. Here, as throughout area rep activities, the conversation is informal and unpredictable.
Yeah, I was wondering about this blood bank that they have here at Tektronix. I heard that for the family, if anybody needs any blood, they can get it donated from the blood bank here at Tektronix to take care of it for the employees.
Okay, the question from the floor is whether a new employee can borrow blood from the blood bank. And I will get together with Jim Cook and we will find out who to call to get your answer to this question.
Sometimes meetings may include films or speakers from outside the company. A product as complicated as the Tektronix oscilloscope requires close cooperation among work areas. So employees may know what others contribute to the product and the profit share. Informal tours throughout the company areas may be planned through the area rep. Employee questions that aren't satisfactorily answered by other means are not lost. The area representatives provide a means of directing these questions to the people who can give answers. Any employee with information that would help another employee is expected to provide that information. And often the person who answers the question benefits even more than the person who asks it. Many important improvements in the way we operate have come as the result of employee questions. Tektronix, more than any company I know, is the creation of its people. At a monthly meeting, employee questions that haven't been answered in other ways are studied by an elected panel of area reps and directed into channels where they may be answered. A question concerning only one employee or one work area will get a direct reply. Others, which seem to be of general interest, may be answered in the area representative conference held once a month. Answers to these general interest questions are provided by the Tektronix person most closely involved and carefully scrutinized by our management committee to ensure that the responses are as complete as possible. At the area representative conference, a guest from inside or outside the company may speak on a subject of general interest. At each conference, two members of Tektronix Management Council answer employee questions and discuss other problems of concern to the group. The proceedings of the conference are summarized by a trained reporter and distributed to all employees a few days later. These printed minutes are all some employees see of the area rep system, but they're only the very small top part of an iceberg. It's the continuing activity conducted informally down at the employee level that really is the heart of the system. The area rep doesn't do the communicating. He encourages communication so that every question gets an answer and every suggestion is given careful consideration. Regularly, at an informal luncheon, outgoing area reps and panel members meet informally with President Howard Vollum and other council members and discuss their experiences.
The area rep activity is far from perfect, but it's been well demonstrated that it can change and improve, just as Tektronix itself has changed and improved. Also, the activity is better understood all the time. Managers in particular seem increasingly aware of its purposes and give it lots of genuine support. In a big company like ours, not all the employee resources are easily visible. A very important thing about the area representatives is that it often provides a way for employees to develop and to demonstrate leadership skills and other abilities we might not have otherwise found out about. You know, when they talk with me, outgoing area reps consistently speak very highly of their experience in this activity. This surely is one good indication that it's working well and that it's providing a service of value to all employees.
The area representative activity, then, is one way to communicate, a way that makes sense to us at Tektronix. It may take up the slack when other information channels aren't appropriate or become clogged. It may sound out soft spots in employee communications and give friendly encouragement when needed. It's a maintenance program to make sure that communications, the lifeblood of any company, will be as free as possible at Tektronix, and that the conversation will continue. But remember, the quality of communication doesn't depend on the number of publications or the number of meetings. It depends on the people who use them. Communicating is everyone's job. It'll be as good as you and I make it. This film was produced by the Tektronix Communications Department, with a lot of cooperation from the area representatives themselves. I'm Nelson Hibbs. I work here too. Back in 1960, I was an alternate group rep. And in 1968, I was an area rep myself, so I know what I'm talking about.